Oh boy. Tech review time. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? In this video, we're gonna be going over my first thoughts and impressions on the Mavic Air 2. Check it out. All right, so the background on this is I used to have the original Mavic. I actually had 2 or 3 of them. I absolutely loved that drone. I came from that one from like one of the original DJIs. So it was just a major upgrade. I love the portability and took that drone around the world. And now this one has been the latest addition to the fleet. And this might be the best one yet, and I'm gonna tell you why. So first and foremost, I got the Air 2 Fly More combo. From Best Buy. It came in right at $1,000, a little over $1,000, and with that you get a ton of stuff. You get this awesome carrying pack. The zippers feel really good. It's got a front pocket. It also has an inside pocket where you can store all kinds of stuff, and it comes with a bunch of things as well. So you get the drone, of course, which I'm glad that was included, because if it didn't come with the drone, that would be a bummer, right? The remote control, I got a lot to say about that. Then you get 3 batteries. There's one on the drone, so we get 3 of those. Then you get a battery adapter, so this connects to the battery and you can like charge your phone with it. Kind of a cool idea. I don't really know how much I'm going to use it, but it was kind of a cool idea. You get some ND filters for the drone, which was really cool. That hasn't been something from the past. You know, you get all the cables, of course, to connect the drone or to connect the remote to different types of phones. 2 replacement, joystick controllers, and then you get a ton, and I mean a ton of propellers. I already have some on the drone, and then they send you all of these. I guess they know that people are out there, running these things into all kinds of stuff, and I tell you what, I've done that before. But anyways, and then the bag itself, it has these cool separators. It's got a great slot for the drone with like a mold in the bottom to like mold to the dome and everything, and then it's got a little flap that separates the controller from the batteries. So super impressed with the bag. Like, this in itself is just super sick, and it looks badass, easy to swing over the shoulder. I'm pumped on that, but we don't need that because we're talking about the drone. First and foremost, guys, the controller. This is incredible. So if anyone remembers the old Mavic controller, you had to flip out the bottom, clamshell your phone in there, and then yeah, and you connected your phone to it. It was a little weird in how it felt, and the phone being below it just wasn't really a great place for it. You're kind of looking down the whole time, and it just felt a little bit awkward, honestly, thinking back on it. But this controller, they have upped the bar across the board. First and foremost, the joysticks on the other one always got caught on something. I actually had a joystick, and one of the little joysticks fell out, but on this one, they have a holder underneath the controller where they come out, and then you screw them in. So when you're just carrying this around, it's super sleek, it won't get caught on anything, and it's just great to use all around. And then the phone actually goes up top in this really nifty, concealed little flapper thingy that can come up, and you can hold like a big phone in here. I have the what do I have? iPhone something. iPhone, like, what is this? No, not 10. Something iPhone SE, whatever it is. It fits great. Then the cord conceals around it like this, wraps around it, and then plugs into your phone. So everything is just super, it's all smart. It all feels like a really like smart evolution to the Mavic line. And looking back on the original Mavic, it really does kind of seem like a 1.0 product, just with kind of how things were stored, how it all operated. But this just feels really refined, and I'm super satisfied with just how this feels. It's just all across the board, it's great. It's got a return to home button. You can flip it from tripod to sport mode to normal mode, all in there. This thing in sport mode is a beast. I'm scared to like do that and record stuff, so I've only just like played around on a parking lot with that, but I'm excited to film like some actual sport footage. You've got the record, start, stop, photo take button on the top, the turn wheel to control the gimbal, and then you've got, you can change around camera mode. This is a customizable function button. Currently, mine takes the camera and just sets it horizontal whenever I want it. You can also have this, a single click and a double click setup, and the double click turns on an LED on the bottom of this, so at night you can see it up in the sky, which is another cool like smart feature. So all around, this controller kills it, and I love it. Now let's talk about the most important part of this whole thing, and that is the drone itself. So first and foremost, this thing is small. It's gotta be like 60% of what the other one was, and you know, the Mavic form factor is just super easy to carry around. You know, it's great to just have this be something you can throw into your backpack. You really don't have to worry about having too much space for it, and it looks badass. It's a little more refined. It's kind of cleaned up. It's got all the sensors that you need on it. Battery comes off and on just like the old Mavics. Memory card port is in the side, and then you've got your USB-C port on the other side. So, you know, pretty familiar form factor. It does just kind of look like a shrink down version, but across the board, it's been improved inside and out. First and foremost, the propellers are different. They have this like slightly curved thing on the end of them. That's supposed to be for increased performance and speed. It also is super quiet compared to the original Mavic. You know, let's just be honest. We're not all flying these drones in the most legal places, but it's nice to have something quiet, something you can get up and down without too much noise. It's not, you know, dead silent. It's still very hearable, but compared to the one before, you're not gonna get nearly as much attention on this one, which I really appreciate. You also have the protective, like, shell for the camera, but all around, just like looking at the gimbal itself, it's so much more like reinforced than the old one. I mean, looking at the original Mavic, there were like exposed wires on the gimbal, and like thinking about that one compared to this is just so much more solid. It's really only got a couple joints. You don't see any really exposed electronics in it, and it just feels all in all like a much, like, the controller more refined. Like, they learned a lot in that at 1.0, and they applied a bunch of that to this one, which really gets me excited and just makes me feel a little more confident in the build of this one. And not that the original Mavic wasn't dependable, but this just seems like it's something that's built to last and a little more heavy duty. So if you do have to use a couple of these backup propellers because you decided to hit something, it's gonna potentially hold itself together a little bit better, which is always great. That being said too, I've been flying this doing mainly commercial real estate video for the past day or two, probably flown it for a total of like 30-45 minutes, and the footage is unreal. Check it out. Yeah, so that's 4K wide on this thing is ridiculous. It has a bunch of other shooting modes though. You can do the hyperlapses, you can do 4K 60, you can do the classic 1080. You can really do about anything you want to from a video standpoint with this, and the quality is unreal. The one thing I will say is, and something that you're really gonna wanna get if you get one of these drones, is to get a much faster right memory card. I had a SanDisk Ultra in here when I was shooting 4K footage for the first time, and everything came out super skippy and jittery, and it wasn't able to be fixed in Adobe or Final Cut. So I've got the SanDisk Ultra, the gold SanDisk micro card in here. It's like 24 bucks for a 64 gig, and that's got me shooting super clean footage. I'm shooting 4K wide at 24 frames for a lot of this property footage, and it's really great. So across the board, guys, I'm super impressed with the drone. I'm super impressed with the controller. It's made flying a drone like so much more fun compared to, honestly, than it was with the Mavic. And I will say one of the other callouts that I found really interesting is that I feel like I can shoot better with this controller. I don't know if it's because the settings are different when it's initially set up. I really haven't messed with the sensitivities, but the ability I have to shoot smooth, steady footage, whether I'm, you know, circling an object, coming to an object and tilting the gimbal down or whatever, I can do it so much more better with this controller and this drone than I was able to do with the Mavic, with the Mavic that I used to have before. It seems like this is a little more dialed in. It doesn't like necessarily skip so much with speeds. It's really able to do subtle movements very well, and I think that's just a matter of them refining the technology and the controllers. So yeah, I hope that was interesting. You guys have any specific questions about this set, about this drone? I'd love to do a follow-up video with your insight. So get in my comments below. Let me know what you want to know about the Mavic Air 2. We'll see you guys out there. Peace.